Hi, I'm Joey Pins. People ask me, how did I lose 130 pounds? The quick answer is always discipline. I started my business, wasn't paying attention to my health, was eating too much, drinking too much sweets. My daughter was born. Next thing I know, I'm pre diabetic, I have hypertension. I knew something had to change. Discipline. I, like many of you, have faced many challenges in your career, in your family, in your life, in your faith. How did you attack them? How did you approach them? How did you solve them, hopefully? It all had to have some degree of discipline. I'm also asked, how did you found and start a tech business that lasted over 25 years? Discipline. I was committed to it, enjoyed technology, didn't enjoy some aspects of it, but knew it was necessary. Discipline. Our podcast mission: how do we use discipline to better ourselves and society? Join me, please, as I talk to interesting people and discuss how they use discipline in their family, in their passion, in their careers, and how it helped them. Our podcast vision: growth through learning from others. Joey Pins Discipline Conversations. It'll be light and serious. Join us, please. Thank you for consideration.
Good morning, Joe.
So nice to see you. What a great time. We're here at the very first RoarCon in Dallas, Texas. How exciting.
It is exciting. It's been great to see a lot of familiar faces like you, but also really get to meet some new MSPs that are in the Lion Guard community.
And what's the goal of this event?
So we always go back to our core values on anything that's a goal. And so teach, lead, and share really best practices around Lion Guard and around how to run a great MSP with growth, profit, and sanity.
I saw Joe yesterday and he was talking about GPS, growth, profit, and sanity. That's a really cool, kind of threesome there.
Yeah, well, I mean, ultimately, if you are an MSP, those are the things that you're trying to drive. And some of us lean into one more than the other, but we really believe that with the Lion Guard platform, you can have all three.
And the MSPs that are here, are they prospects? Are they current customers?
It's a mix. I would say there's probably more current Lion Guard partners that are here. It's meant as a user conference, but we also have a number of prospects as well.
Yeah, and you have a lot more than you expected.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we had thought this was sort of, I'll call it the unconference of, being a pretty intimate show, probably 100, 150. We had over 225 register. So we had to actually get moved venues because the fire marshal wasn't going to let us. And so now we're in this huge, awesome facility here at Ford Center. That's part of the Dallas Star, which is where the Dallas Cowboys train. And we are on the field with breakout rooms, and we didn't have to pay extra for the padding underneath the field, right? So our vendors and sponsors can thank us for that, and attendees.
Really cool venues where the Dallas Cowboys play. They have an indoor football stadium. I wonder what this holds. How many people? It's got to be, I don't know, at least a couple thousand, right?
Yeah, so we'll be good for next year when we do RoarCon again.
It's absolutely great. We're actually on the football field right now, and last night's party was on near the practice field over there, which was a great time.
Yeah.
The current MSPs here that already are customers, what do you want them to come away with?
Well, we oftentimes have seen that they leveraged Lion Guard for our change management capabilities and for our ability to have automated documentation. Those were really important use cases, and they're still part of the Lion Guard platform today, but we want them to understand that this really is a cybersecurity platform that can enable them to offer new managed services, specifically managed attack surface. This enables them to monetize the cyber resiliency that they're already having to do for their customers.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I don't want to say pivot, but I've never viewed Lion Guard as a security platform, but you kind of made that clear
transformation?
Well, in my mind, it always has been a cybersecurity platform, but they went where the partners were taking us essentially. But when Joe founded the company, it really was on a cybersecurity vision. And attack surface management, which is what our platform does, is really about discovering the IT assets, then automating that asset inventory and documenting it. Ultimately, that enables you to see then what's changing in the configuration state of that asset inventory. And that's where risk comes from. Unpatched systems, MFA not being enabled, getting visibility and alerting into that. And then we go a step further with our platform and we map that all into a cyber risk dashboard that's tied to cyber insurance controls. So you can show your customers their cyber posture at any given moment. So that, I like to say, it's the difference between hoping and knowing. And when I led my MSP, right, ultimately, that's one of the things that kept me up at night is that I would set IT policy, but how do I know? How do I know it's in place? If I would have had LionGuard at that time, I would have known. And that's what I hope to give everyone is a level of confidence in knowing where they are in terms of their IT policy and giving their customers confidence in that way as well.
Michelle, you mentioned that your MSP, so your MSP bought my MSP
Yep.
back in 2019. So how is the transition from being an MSP to a vendor?
Well, I think it's really enabled me to call BS on things that aren't important to an MSP and to really focus on the things that are important, right? And I think it is all about growth, profit, and sanity, because if your solution isn't bringing one of those three things and hopefully all of those three things to your MSP partner, then you're failing. So we're really focused on that now and really focused on building a better partner experience. LionGuard is a great platform, but there's obviously always things that we can be working on to improve that, make it easier to get to that growth, profit, and sanity. And that's where my maniacal focus is bringing that perspective.
So for those MSPs that are just prospects that are here, even however many there are, what do you want them to come away with?
Well, hopefully what they hear is from other of our community where we are bringing that growth, profit, and sanity to them. They're really getting to understand and hear how they can build that managed attack surface practice within their business and then see the other areas that they're able to automate and get real efficiencies with our platform.
So we talked about MSPs and LionGuard. How about the actual small business? What's your message to the small business, the actual end result of your platform?
Well, the end result is that they can hold their MSP accountable and they can know the difference between hoping and knowing again. Because now if their MSP is using LionGuard, they can say, is MFA enabled across my platform? Is EDR on all my, and they can literally at any given moment, have their MSP either if they're in a co-managed environment, go log directly into LionGuard and see that, or via our reports to be able to have that.
You were CEO logically at the MSP. Now you're CEO of the vendor. I mean, how has your role changed specifically?
Well, I think that the difference between being in a tech-enabled business versus being in a software business is, again, how these businesses get valued. Software businesses tend to get valued on growth and revenue. MSP business tend to get valued on EBITDA. So there's a different driver. So I have to have a different perspective on where I focus, right? Oftentimes in MSP businesses, the focus is on what can I cut, how can I, get more automation and drive that EBITDA higher. EBITDA is important on the software side too, but growth as a metric is much higher. Now, I would argue actually though that thought process on the MSP side that EBITDA and cutting is the only way to get there. I believe that growth, and this is sort of my aha moment out of having done both, is that the fastest way to EBITDA is actually growth. And oftentimes, I think people lean to what they think is easier, which is cut. But I don't think that that's the most efficient actual way of getting to profitability. Growth is the most efficient way to get to profitability.
Yeah, because it's amazing that the tone of the MSP has changed over the last, and private equity has done this, right? And
Yeah.
they're using expressions like tool consolidation. I've never, in my 30 years of being MSP, ever heard MSPs. That's a short way of saying cut tools to get bigger EBITDA. But your point is, if you grow and stop thinking about cutting so much, the EBITDA will come naturally.
Yeah, absolutely it will. And that doesn't mean that you don't need to rationalize and think about your tool set and having the best tool set. That doesn't mean that you turn a blind eye to that. I mean, I think good business fundamentals have that you want to make sure that your tech stack is something that is leveraged and what have you. But that can't be, like, you can only get so far. At some point, you can't rationalize down to zero on tool set and give your customers good value. And most of us are in this business because we actually want to help businesses and we want to help people grow their businesses. We're not here to to just cost rationalize. It's a necessary evil, I'll say, within a business, but growth is the real thing that is good for you. It's good for your customer, because hopefully if you're helping drive growth within your MSP, you're protecting your customer in the right ways. That's going to enable them to not have to focus on IT and security, but focus on their business and their own growth.
Yeah, very well said. Why would you be a great paintball player?
Oh, Joe, I'm a great now I'm going to give away all my strategy.
Okay.
So paintball is something I haven't played in a while, but I'm actually a very good paintball player because I allow all the players to start attacking each other while I generally hide in a barrel because I'm relatively small and let everyone shoot each other and take each other. And at the very end, I come out a little bit like Al Pacino and Scarface and
Mow
pepper
'em
everyone.
down.
Yeah, so that's my strategy.
And maybe that's a strategy for business too. You're controlling everything, but from a back position and not let everybody know. That's very
Yeah,
interesting.
sometimes that's that's the process you need to take.
Yeah, certainly. Michelle, thanks for having me. Thanks for coming today and recording with me. I wish you well, and I can't wait to see the future.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinn's Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypins.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinn's Discipline Conversations.